Good afternoon. It's Mother here in wonderful Daytona. Sun is getting rather intense. Oh my gosh, this is just lovely. I forgot what summer was all about. We had such a long winter this year. Oh, this is just, I can't explain the feeling of the warmth of my shoulders right now. It is. I hear some noises, and I wasn't sure what they were. They were quite unusual. I was thinking this morning, other than my musing on me being another Florida man in all of his butch glory, I must say. It's not hard being butch. I mean, it's not easy being butch. Well, it depends who you are. Oh, I have to tell you, when I moved into this neighborhood, I fell in love with the house in a dream because it didn't look like it does now. We did a lot of work on it. On the interior anyhow. And I wasn't too sure what to think, and I saw some strange things happening. We had when the pool was being dug, I looked out and there was the what do you call it, the backhoe or whatever, this little thing that comes in and grabs up all the dirt and throws it on the pile. There was a was for talk about foreshadowing. There was a man coming down from the other side here, and I didn't know who he was. He was walking and he had a green wagon, and I thought, oh my God, he was not too sure-footed. He's an older man. And I thought, geez, he could fall into the pit. What is he doing here? So I went out and I said, can I help you? And he says, I'm here to take some of your dirt. And I thought, no, this isn't going to work. This guy's going to fall and get hurt, and I'm going to have a suit on my hands. So I said, I'd rather you didn't. And he said, I asked the guy, and he said I couldn't. And I said, oh, jeez. I said, no, sorry. So then we felt guilty, so Otto and I went out and bought 8 huge bags of topsoil and dropped them off on the side of his house. And he turned out to be one of the nicest people in the world, and I scolded him. I mean, what a way to start your time. I mean, here are all these nice people, and I'm being a shithead to them. So there was another guy walked around in his bathrobe, and we had an elderly woman. I mean, really elderly. I think she was in her 90s, for Christ's sake. And a sweet little thing, kind of weathered. And so she lived right next door, and she didn't come out that often. There were some people, neighbors that used to take her out like once a week for dinner, and she called them her angels. Can you imagine that? 2 lesbians being called angels? I thought that was really unique. I'd never heard those terms before. I guess it's a New Jersey term. The lady was from New Jersey. In any event, I saw this man, an elderly man, who used to walk around in his bathrobe, walking up to the windows next door. So I gave him hell and said, what are you doing looking in the windows? And he didn't have a good explanation, but he left. Later that day, and I was thinking about that and going, geez, this is weird. We're under attack here from all these elderly people, of course, never considering myself one of them. And I went down, we have like a community mailboxes for every so many houses, 8 houses, I guess, or something like that. So I went down, and there's the guy who was earlier walking around in his bathrobe, now is walking around dressed. And I thought, isn't this nice? So he came over and started talking to me. And this was, well, I got to tell you, there's some Jews living down the street. Yep. And there's 2 lesbians. Yep. And we may have some homosexuals who have just moved in recently. Yep. And there's a black man who does most of the mowing in the neighborhood. Okay, thank you for telling me all that. I mean, it's all information I never would have known. And so I went back home. And the more I thought about it, the more delighted I was. And when Otto got home from work that day, I said, Otto, you're not going to believe this. Sit down. He sat down, and I said, we're not in Kansas anymore. We have all these people who are so nice and diverse. So that was my intro to the neighborhood. There were a few other incidents. The neighborhood has changed since then, since we moved in. I think a lot of people moved out because we moved in. Well, Stevely Weevely and Daniela moved in across this road, and that sort of upgraded the neighborhood, and I think our houses increased by $20,000. And then the Big D and Little D, we'll call them, next door to them, moved in from St. Louis, and they're charming. Like I said, they're huggable little guys. They're just adorable. Yeah, nice people. Nice people. So we're back on track, and we have a wonderful neighborhood now. I was going to say something about this, but I just, it has slipped my mind. I was talking about all that's going on. But anyhow, I'm very happy. Otto's happy, and no, we're not in Kansas anymore. This is delightful. Bless you all, and get ready for the holidays that are coming. I understand tomorrow is not a high holiday, but Passover, and Easter I think is not this weekend but the next weekend. So all of these religious holidays here. None of us are religious, come to find out. I talk to my friends, and everyone my age seems to be not religious but traditional. We like the traditions of different holidays. I like all the holidays. I like Jewish holidays. I like any kind of holiday there is. Just invite me. So, all right. If you don't invite me for Passover, I won't be hurt. And I hope you have a hell of a time looking for the Afikoman. Almost got that out. Ciao, everyone. Love you. Peace out. Mother.